Well, the way we encounter Torah is through letters, but basically it's like when you encounter a live entity through its language, through its utterance, through its discourse. So first, you need to treat Torah as a living being. That what actually you can sort of discern out of it is the utterance or the way it tries to communicate with you. So, but it doesn't say that the way it tries to communicate with you, it's a definition of itself. Like what you're saying is not always definition of what you are. Are you clear about that?
Well, I think that's a hard concept.
You're much more than what you are able to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Though even if you speak, you'll be speaking all your life, still you will not be able to basically convey that which you are. Because it's much more than what is possible to express only through utterance. But it is a way or an action. So Torah is not a light, it's illumination, meaning it's the action of light. It's not light itself, but the life or the being that stands behind it is the light, which is a live being. What we meet is the action of light, which is illumination, which expresses itself through letters, meaning black and white. Means it expresses itself as rear and front, or meaning need and fulfillment.
So
this is now one of the definitions that we need to remember is that the action is perpetual and it's an eternal action because Torah is being given all the time. We are not able to receive it, but it doesn't stop the action of being of it itself being given to humans. But we're not able, because we don't have the vessel, the correct vessel to perceive it, to actually tune ourselves to it. We are not. We think that receiving Torah happened once, and now we have it. We don't have it. We didn't get it. We lost it. We lost it on, a minute after it was given. A minute in terms of universal time. What we got is a second degree action, which is second Torah, second sort of version. Now, first version is a direct discourse or presence of the creator. Second version is sort of more to do with very similar formula to the creation of the world. The world was created in judgment. It could not stand it. Therefore, it was actually recreated. It was recreated through sort of a shared quality, which is mercy. So it was created through mercy. So you can say that second tablet has to do with mercy, meaning something that will prepare us to be able someday to receive first tablet, meaning the presence of the light itself. Okay, so now if so, it suggests that the Torah that we hold has to do, because it's a produce of Tzimtzum Bet, meaning the extension of mercy to the Creator, to Malchut. It has to do with 3 lines, because this is what happens after, in Tzimtzum Bet, after Bina extend herself to Malchut, what is being created is the right side and left side, and then we need to sort of create peace between them, and the ability to see what we are lacking and the intention of the higher is actually Torah. Our ability to combine it into a shared purpose. So Torah, from itself, as we meet it, has to do as a result of the mercy that the Creator had through God, which it means through Bina, upon us. So we cannot actually understand Torah in any way other than the third line, because because we were not able to receive it as is, as it was given on Sinai, the first time. But what happened on Sinai was basically an enforcement, a compulsion of Torah upon us. Almost the commentary speaks about rape in terms of compulsion of, because there was no way that there was any kind of preparation in us. So this compulsion actually printed us with a code that will enable us to receive the future signals of the light. So this is the first one. So of course it's ascend and it disappeared from us, but it left in us the impressions of being able to want Torah and to pursue it.
Okay.
So this is first explanation of at least the arena that we are dealing in with. We're dealing in third line in as it appeared as a revelation in history to actually allow human consciousness the evolution that it needed.
Okay. So in my mind, I'm trying to reconcile the beginning impression of a bunch of words on parchment to where we are. And so what I think I'm hearing in terms of that is that the Torah is something way more than the narrowing that occurred in putting it into letters and words, and that we are here looking for something far beyond the lettering.
Yeah. As well, letter, you need to understand that we see it in the portion of Bo. Letters are sort of signals. He's saying them in Bo portion is that why actually I'm hardening or weighing on Pharaoh's heart, which means on humanity's heart, in order to actually etch him with signals. Yeah? Etch him with letters. Which letters? Letters ele means letter ele suggests they are part of the letters of Elohim. So they are the lower part of those signals. Okay, which means we hear in our portion, it is said about Moshe that everyone stood looking at him, but he went into the mist because there God is. Because God is in what is actually concealed. So he's going into the concealment, which is called mist. Okay? Which actually does not allow us to see through. It does not allow us to see through by our sense perception, our corporeal sense perception. So there is sort of a mist. And then if you go through it, meaning like Moshe, you're going into the understanding of actually why there is a concealment and what purpose does it serve, then you're able to actually cause revelation.
Yeah. And this reminds me of our discussion about Kli.
Yeah, exactly. So this is basically Torah. We need to go through what the mist is our sort of perception that there are letters that we need to learn the language, and when we read it, we'll understand it. Of course not. It's a cover. It's a concealment.
Yeah.
It's a secret. That the what we can understand from it that they hide something,
Right.
that they cover something.
And when we are here realizing that what we're lacking and want to receive Torah, this is what we're going after. That
Yes,
that
we,
larger.
we're going after making ourselves um, adequate vessels to be able to receive the light that or the illumination that is within it. Yeah, on a different level, on many levels, in 125 levels or steps. Okay, it's double five is 5 worlds, double five aspects. Yeah, which is to do with Keter Chochma Bina Tiferet Umalchut. Okay, and there are 5, let's say, letters or signals of the word Havaya, including Kutso Shel Yud. Okay, so if you go 555, you get 125 steps of revelation, yeah, that you need to go through. It suggests that it's a process of time. Yeah.
Okay.
It suggests as well Torah. This is one aspect of Torah. What he's saying here in this article is that the question is whether, well, is it left? Is it right? He's saying no. You have to, with Torah, you're going through, because middle line is not something of itself. It's not an entity or a life that stands on its own. It's being created from the left and the right. And the left and the right are created from the partnership between Elohim, Bina, and humans, meaning Malchut. When this is created, up and down, this is created.
Left and right.
Yeah, so we get dimensions. We get true dimension of a new world, which is a new perception. Within that, now you're saying there is part of Torah which is the right side, and there is part of which is to do with grace or graces, chasadim, and there is Torah which has to do with wisdom. Yeah? And then we need to combine it in a very particular way. What is the particular way? That the right controls the left. More than that, it controls it or dominates it in a way that can that phrase in oneself same purpose. What is the purpose? The purpose is being said that what was created is a will to receive to oneself, yeah, and Torah was actually in order to give it meaning. How it will give it meaning? By the way it's going to choose how to use itself. It will give it a choice. So Torah as well gives us choice. Choice to be Adam or not. But we need to understand it. I have a beautiful poem in Hebrew. Um, I'll try at the end to translate it to you. It has to do with the perception of what is true moral. true morality. It suggests that definitely within this portion, and this is another aspect of Torah. Okay. In the beginning, Torah is coming and is watching the way Moshe is handling himself. And he's saying you will wither in that way because you're receiving people all day, and you don't need to judge them one by one. You can delegate. Basically, he's saying delegate. Okay? But Moshe's answer is they're searching for God. They're not searching for a juridic answer. So it means that when we speak about that, it suggests that Torah, as it was translated by a generation of exile, was translated as law, which is the biggest trouble of Torah, or the biggest evil that people can actually do to Torah, because it's not law; it's something alive, and it's godly moral, not human moral, and we made it human moral. And human moral changes as geography changes, as weather changes, as epoch changes, but God's moral does not. So being able to discern between good and evil is only when we have Torah, but not as the law, as something that discovers in us the ability to choose good. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay. This is why I think that it's not something that I would leave even for people to choose to study Torah as I teach it. It's an obligation as a human to study Torah and definitely to study Kabbalah. It's a human obligation. This is how I see it, but I can see it. Okay. But maybe some people will catch it. Yeah.